Hey everyone, we got Angela and Hawkeye on Thursday. I mentioned it the other day in my Hawkeye review, but people kept asking me where's the Angela review? Well, these reviews take time. I had a lot of things to do on Friday, so I was not able to make the review in time. Please always keep in mind, I do work, I am a student, and making these videos actually takes a little bit of time because I do want to do it properly and not give you wrong information or have bad videos. Good stuff takes time, sorry. Anyway, Angela. Super exciting times. Let's check her out because she's good. She's really good. Base form, element chainer. She does have a couple of elements. We'll check that out in a minute. Brave shift. She is our infamous LB finisher that we need to stack a billion times, what it feels like. But yeah, let's check out her abilities, passives, and limit bursts in a small target dummy showcase. Well, showcase quote unquote. I'll just go through the abilities, the most important ones, and the passives. So let's head into the game and talk about her abilities. So we are back at our favorite punching bag. Technically speaking, it is still the best one, but we'll have Belladonna come Thursday. Anyway, Angela has a lot of abilities. Like, a lot. Double, triple, and quad cast. As you can see, Ice, Diamond, so Ice, Earth, 2 Dark Element attacks. It's a lot of stuff, as you can see. Instant KO for that super annoying arena fight, right? But it's only 40%, and keep in mind, a lot of teams these days, they are using death immunities, so not too useful anymore. What's cool is 50% magic mid for the whole team, 3 turns, so all those tanks that don't have that. Here you go. Glitter dust, all elements, which is funny, but also all resistances 50%, which I like. It's also AR. It's cool, I guess. Ancient Curse, probably the better one. It's a 10x modifier increase for everything but limit bursts. So that's the only exception, sadly. It would have been cool if it also affected the limit burst, but it doesn't. Latent, Magic Awakened, her own 300 magic and spirit buff, 120 MP recovery for 5 turns, so in total 600 MP recovery to 1 ally. And she also unlocks her quadcast, which she does have unlocked on turn 1, in case you need it. The only thing that I really think is a downside is that she only actually has a Dark Imperil. It's 120. I would have wished she had all Imperils, like the Ice Imperil, the Earth Imperil as well. That would have been very cool. Other than that, once you shift back, so usually how you want to start the fight, especially if you have her EX plus 2, because she starts at full LB gauge at EX plus 2, so you want to LB on turn 1. You then sit for 4 turns in that Brave shift. She needs 5 stacks though, so you have that waiting turn, and with double slash you can fill her LB gauge easily, especially with quadcast unlocked. That's 32 out of, I believe, 40 LB crystals. Yeah, it's 40 LB crystals that she needs for her limit burst, so it's 32 out of 40. You have this via the ability already, and if you're lucky enough, you will get more LB crystals along the way. You could, for example, gear the base form for LB fill, meaning she'd have her LB ready to go on turn 6 again, which would be then the 5th stack. And on turn 6, you could then technically LB right away again and finish off the boss with max stacks. Her base LB, it deals no damage. It's an 84 break, which is weak. Nobody cares about that. Oh, it does deal damage these days. 32.5x. Sorry about that. It's just, yeah, 50% SPR, ignore 2, so in reality it's a 75x LB, which nobody cares about, honestly. It's also a true magic, non-elemental one, so this one is not buffed compared to the JP one in terms of physical scaling abilities, so keep that in mind. Alright, let's go to the Brave Shift, which is the main thing here. The Brave Shift, the thing I really do want to point out is Hotshot. It's a 130 Imperil, but also a 50% fire amp to herself. She also imbues herself with fire, which is rather neat. So the optimal rotation would be you stack 5 turns, or you stack 5 LBs on her, you then use Hotshot, and on turn, let me think, turn 1, 2, 3, and 4 are LBs, 5 is waiting, 6 is LB, the 5th stack, 7 is the Hotshot turn. So on turn 8, you would then finally do your 6th and strongest limit burst with the Hotshot modifier on. And yeah, that's going to hurt a lot, especially if you have Louise's field up as well, meaning that's a 75 amp in total. And a Dark Vision that gets even better, so yeah, that is going to hurt a lot. A lot. Other than that, we talked about the stacking LB already. It starts at 235x, a total net of 400x gain, meaning she will be at 635x modifier. Now, this is a little bit lower than the JP side of things, but you have to keep in mind, she is flex element. It is physical damage, as you can see. I like that the game actually states now the type of damage she deals. That means she uses physical killers, which is super good. And yeah, well, due to being able to be imbued with any element you want and having that amp work, the 50% amp, she can reach crazy damage. And we'll see that in just a minute. Or also, like, is the 300% LB boost. Like, I don't know who is responsible for this, but thank you. You made Angela the MVP of this Vision world and probably the next couple of Dark Visions. She might even be super good for Clash of Wills just because that 735x modifier is just crazy levels of good. And funnily enough, the next boss in Clash of Wills is week 2 Beasts and Dragons. Or is a beast and dragon, and let's just briefly check out her passive. She has 200% Dragon Killer innately when wearing her Trustmaster Super Trustmaster, and she also has 100% Beast Killer innately. So that is, she's going to be probably, unless the quote-unquote devastating counterattack of the boss for each time you limit burst is actually devastating, she might be our MVP girl, because even for Clash of Wills, a 635x LB finishing move is strong. Now, it is not strong as Sky's limit burst. Sky is way over the top, but she might actually be comparable to other DPS, especially when it comes to, well, finishing, right? So Sky in total has, let me check this out real quick. She has 800x modifier, roughly. I didn't math this out in my head right now. So let's say Sky has 850, right? So Angela is about 220x behind Sky. And Sky has also variants, which, well, makes her a lot better. But yeah, she'll be about, let's say, 60% of Sky, if you can give Sky for everything, that is. It's still super good, because Sky is still our #1 LB finisher. Now, these days we are using Lara and Carton anyway for Clash, because their chains are super busted, especially Lara's. But yeah, Angela might actually find a spot if you don't have to gear for Evasion, because Evasion is going to be her Achilles heel. She does not have any evasion, so if you have to gear her Brave Shift for Evasion 2 and LB damage and killers, that's not going to work. Just straight up won't work. So yeah, let's hope for the best. Fingers crossed that the next boss does not require every single party member to have full evasion again, because if that's the case, you can safely bench Sephiroth and use Angela. Now that also means that the next boss is not weak to dark, because if Reese is also super good, and gets actually the full Angela treatment, let's call it like that, we might end up using Sephiroth anyway over Angela, just because Sephiroth has variance, and with a 25% dark field, he may be above Angela, but that remains to be seen, honestly. But yeah, other than that, she retains in her Brave Shift, that is, most of her abilities, like Ice Mask, Diamond Shards, Evil Gate, etc, etc. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Spike Freeze is one of the new ones, 120 in Peril. Thunderstorm, 120. Yeah, those are her regular abilities. So she does have all these imperils, but they are tied to her Breath Shift, and taking away a turn of stacking her LB, I feel like is kind of a moot point. It would have been also super good if these abilities imbued herself, because that is something I faced, or I had troubles with when I did the Genie's Trial, for example. It's hard to defeat a Genie's Trial in 3 turns, so I had to go to turn 4, and on turn 3, you're getting wind imbued, and one of the Genies is immune to wind, for example. Meaning, yeah, I had to dispel Angela. You'll see that in a later video today, but I would have wished they also gave these abilities imbue. But I guess that is asking for too much at this point, because Angela clearly is the better of the two. Alright, that is it for this small introduction. Let's get back to the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said in the video, there is coming, in the showcase, there is a video coming where I'll be tackling a couple of bosses, spoilers, Behemoth, Amon, and Scorn of Genies, with Angela, and truth be told, none of these bosses lasted more than 3 stacks of her LB. But yeah, let's check out her Trustmaster and Super Trustmaster. The Trustmaster is a rope, which may or may not be that good, but it has 31 defense, 65 magic, and 20% light and dark resistance. It's okay. It has decent stats, but meh. Secondary stats like light dark resistance, I don't frankly care about this. It's nice for element Tetris, but probably not too useful. The Super Trustmaster is a materia with 70% magic on it and 50% true double hand magic, 100% charm resistance as well. I'd say this is only an okay-ish Super Trustmaster. I would have much rather preferred they took away the charm resistance and gave her 100% true double hand magic. That would have made things a lot easier. We wouldn't need Powers' STMR if we went for a build that does not require her Trustmaster, Super Trustmaster, and yeah, it just... I mean, I'm kind of disappointed by the Super Trustmaster, honestly, just because it doesn't really help her cause. That is the issue I have, because she really needs a lot of true double hand magic, and this is not the best source. Sad to say, and her Trustmaster is also pretty bad, because we have so many better alternatives, especially when it comes to chain cap, because she only has 5x chain cap, so you will automatically end up using the Clash of Wills clothes anyway with the chain cap increase. So you are kind of forced to use a Super Trustmaster, which is bad because it also locks you to using one more true double hand slot, and you don't have that, especially if you want to give for double races and limit burst. It's just not going to happen, man. That's why I feel like whenever we see Angela for non-beasts, non-dragons, you will not use the Trustmaster passive of hers, because it's just slot inefficient, so to speak. I wish they gave her that little buff that Division card also unlocks the Trustmaster, because that would have been good. But as it stands, the Super Trustmaster is just bad for her gearing. Hands down. The Vision card is the same as is with Hawkeye. If you haven't watched my Hawkeye video, it got buffed compared to the JP side of things. The JP side of things only had 110 attack. We also get the 110 magic. And JP side also only had 40% attack. We also get 40% magic on level 4 and 7, which is super good. So it's a great card for hybrids. 80% unconditional attack and magic is great. and in general superb for Trials of Mana units because of the 50% LB increase. Sad face though, it's only 110 attack magic, but I guess that's the trade-off for the unconditional stat increases at the passive side of things. It's still really good though, don't get me wrong, it's a good vision card in general, especially with the global buffs. And let's get to the good stuff here, the damage calculations. So Angela has her own 50% fire amplification, which we will use. Yeah, we are going to use that. We have a 135 fire imperil, and yeah, we are using a 25 fire field from Luis. This is the gear. Now keep in mind, this is JP builder data, so the JP builder does not have the 100 attack, 110 magic side of things. It reads like so I could kiss you, I guess. It's the translation, rough translation. I don't even know what the English name is. But yeah, like I said, we're using the Clash of Wills chain cap increase one. We are using Seer of the Future, which is Powers' STMR, Black Mage Slacker, and that way you do have 300 LB, 300 killer, and chain cap increase, and 400% true double hand magic. Easy peasy, no Trustmaster reward required. And that applies for most of her killers, outside her innate killer's beast and dragon, that is. So yeah, and she can actually reach crazy levels of magic points, which you will see right now. And yeah, if you're looking for Angela, she's at the top. I don't know, I was kind of surprised to see her being this far ahead of Sephiroth, even when accounting for variance on Sephiroth. It is actually crazy. Let me just quick math this out, how much she's ahead, because that is on another level, to be honest. Yes, so she's 17.95 damage ahead, or let's turn it around and yeah, Sephiroth is only 84% damage of Angela, which I feel like makes up for the one downside of Angela, which what are two downsides. A, it's gearing, and B is that Angela is prone to fail and fall off a cliff in terms of damage as soon as you need evasion. Now we've seen with the last Clash boss you needed at least 50% evasion on the whole team, if you're using Sky, that is. And Angela can do that. She absolutely cannot in her Brave Shift. While Sephiroth, on the other hand, he has no trouble. You just equip Full Moon, which is Venera's STMR, and you're good to go. You don't even lose any slot, any materia slot. You're not losing out on anything. So in that regard, Sephiroth will stay at the top of the food chain. But the moment you don't need evasion on a unit and can gear Angela appropriately, she will mop the floor with every single DPS we have right now. And I feel like Gumi have maneuvered themselves into a corner with Angela's buffs. I don't personally mind it. I like OP characters like Angela. But let's think of the next couple of units that are coming, right? So Yuna is obviously one of them, and she's also mage, she's an invoker, and I can tell you right now that Yuna is going to be around 50% of Angela's damage. Who in the right mind would pull for Yuna unless she's your personal favorite and you just want her because you love the sprite? Nobody should pull for Yuna. And to make things worse, Yuna is also a premium unit that's scores so much lower on the DPS chart than Angela. And Yuna is also hard locked to light, which Angela is not, by the way. So yeah, they will have... the only thing that has to be done now is every single unit that comes over from the JP side of things needs to get buffed, and they need to get buffed tremendously to be even worth considering over Angela or Sephiroth for that matter. So units such as well, I only know one, honestly. One major is coming in, that is Yuna. But I also guess other units, they will all of the units, they will need buffing, because when compared to Angela in terms of damage and what they can do in Clash or Dark Visions or / Vision Worlds, it's just not going to be enough. Especially because most of the units, if not all of the JP units that remain to be coming up until this point, they are kind of locked to one element all the time. So yeah, Angela is kind of a Swiss Army knife right now, and the only thing, and that is going to happen in Dark Visions actually, that dampens her damage is a turn lock, meaning bosses want you to kill them on turn, I believe 3 or 4, not quite sure which one it is, but yeah. And if that is the case, you will never be able to stack 5 LB stacks on her, and that will obviously lower her damage a lot. She will still stay at the top because a 555 mod is great with 4 stacks, but it's not the best. And if you only have 4 stacks of her LB, she might be weaker than Sephiroth again. So yeah, keep that in mind, please. But yeah, Angela, pretty good, right? So how does she fare in the meta? I think I explained this well. In Clash, most likely useful, but again, if the boss doesn't have the races she's innately good at or good against, and especially if you have to give her evasion, or damage literally falls off a cliff. Dark Visions, yeah, you have to stack her LB a couple of times, and I know right now when I do my Belladonna clear on first day, people will hate it. That is, I can tell you right now, I am gonna use Angela, and this is going to be a 10 turn clear. It's just going to happen. You need 8 turns, or you need 7 turns of preparations for all her buffs, so all 5 stacks of her LB and the 50% fire amp. On a turn 8, you can finally finish off the boss. Yeah, so that's going to take a while. Now, if you don't have Pause's STMR, you're also gonna have a bad time. And right now, she's super hard to gear because we are missing the Chain Cap Clash of Wills clothes, which makes matters a little bit worse for the time being. But in 2 weeks' time, I will have the Clash of Wills Chain Cap clothes, and she'll be a lot better because I can substitute the Indestructible Light for something better, like more killers, LB damage. We'll see. So, should you pull? It's a good question, right? Because some people may say, I don't really want to stack 5 LB stacks, and that's a good reason. You can then skip, but you will certainly miss out on a unit that most Dark Vision clears or Vision World clears will require to score highly. And I can already see comments, I don't have Angela, how can I substitute? And the answer is going to be Sephiroth, because Sephiroth is the next best unit, and if you don't have Sephiroth, then the next answer is Lara Croft, and if you don't have Lara Croft, well, might as well not even try anymore, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, should I pull? I mean, she's highly flexible mage, physical killers, uses element imbues. Yeah, she is, if you're asking me for my honest opinion, I think you should pull. Because, yeah, there is going to be 2 Dark Visions where you are required to defeat the boss on turn 4 or 3, not quite sure. I think it's 4, because otherwise the boss has a super high damage mitigation buff that really ruins your day. But the other Dark Visions or Vision Worlds, they don't require you to go for a certain turn. You can take your time as long as you want. So for that, she will become relevant again. So yeah, my opinion is you should pull because she's omega good. She does take a lot of she has a lot of gearing requirements, but they are worthwhile. And that is it for today's review. Thank you all for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Best of luck to your pulls if you haven't pulled yet. And we'll see each other later today for a tour of destruction with Angela. Bye bye.